How's it going, guys? It's Billy here. Sorry for my little hiatus there with the lack of videos going around. A lot of real life stuff was happening at the time, so my apologies for not putting out any videos out there and even being pretty quiet on social media. Anyway, I want to try to start a new little series over here because buying computer components can be very expensive, and as of the size of the channel is right now, I can't really afford to be building and buying computers all the time. So I'm going to try a new series out, and I'm going to call it the Theoretical Build of the Month. Now that could be in numerous price ranges, that could be numerous different kind of things that need to be done with the computer. For this one over here, I'm going to start off with a $550 build to coincide with the one I did in real life in a previous video. So if you guys want to check that one out, be sure to check out the description below. I'll leave a link to it there. And also be sure to check out the card above. I'll also leave a link to that video over there. So essentially what that build was trying to do was for a price point of $550 to build a kind of esports ready machine to be able to play games at 1080p at good frame rates. Nothing really extreme, like no ultra graphical settings at 4K, just 1080p because it's still the majority of what resolution people are still on, and to be able to play those games at good frame rates. But a common complaint that I got for the video was that, at least for the video card, which was already 2 to 3 years old, it was used. So the problem being that if your market isn't very good for that, let's say your eBay or your Craigslist, if it isn't very good for that, you probably won't be able to find as good of a deal as I found. And as it would happen to have, it seems like prices are dropping all around, at least for video cards, and that's where this kind of update is from. Now, essentially, a lot of these parts I've used personally and in that previous build, so that's why I'm going to suggest them. But if you guys have different preferences in terms of brands, let's say for this one over here, I'm going to just kind of spoil it a little bit. We're going to be using a Gigabyte motherboard, but if you prefer a ASUS, ASRock, it doesn't matter what you prefer, but if you find one in a similar range and you're willing to go more for that budget because there's more features in it, be sure to go ahead and do that yourself. But anyway, these are just suggestions from what I've used personally and what I like, and you guys don't have to follow that to a T, but here are just some of the suggestions that I would choose for my $550 1080p esports gaming PC. As previously mentioned, a lot of the stuff I already used, so let's go right off the top with the CPU. Of course, I went with the Intel Core i3-6100. That's clocked in at 3.7 gigahertz, and right now it seems like it can be had for around $110 or so. And honestly, it's 2 cores, but 4 threads in total, so it kind of acts like a quad core, although it is a dual core, so don't want to say it's a quad core, but it kind of acts that way. And it does really well for at least current esports titles, if that's what you're into, and a lot of modern games. You can even see how it did benchmark-wise. I'll also leave that in the description below and in the card above as well. Now, if you got a different motherboard, you can actually overclock this thing. But for this one, we're going to keep everything simple and try to keep everything as stock as possible. Speaking of the motherboard, we're going with the Gigabyte GA-H110M-A. Now, this is a micro ATX motherboard, and it can be had for around $50 or so. Sometimes during the sale, it could be had for a little bit less. Honestly, I've used Gigabyte products in the past. They've been reliable for me. I enjoyed their stuff. This one fits the bill. It's very minimalistic for what it's going to be doing. The only problem with this build is, in terms of expandability wise, you'll probably want to change out the motherboard if you want to do other things in the future, but that'll be completely up to you. But for now, if you're only going to be spending kind of $550, I think this is a good price point for the motherboard. I think you're getting good quality for it, and I enjoyed building with it. Now, RAM-wise, I'm going to be changing it up a little bit. Before I used some HyperX, which was good memory, but it was 2 sticks of 4 gigabytes of DDR4 memory. Now, the problem with that being that if you want to expand to, let's say, 16 gigabytes in the future, you're going to have to buy 2 8 gig sticks. Although it works well in dual channel memory, at least for this price point, I'm going to stick with 1 stick of 8 gigabytes because that'll allow you to upgrade to 16 gigabytes in the future without having to replace that current one there. So just have 1 stick of 8. It won't work in dual channel, but at least for now and at this price point and the games that you're playing, you probably won't need it. And if you do need to upgrade to 16 gigabytes in the future, throw in the extra $50 afterwards and you got yourself 16 gigs. Now, storage wise, this is completely up to you. If you have a hard drive laying around, let's just say, 1, 2, 3 terabyte hard drive, you want to use that for storage, good. You can use this $50 instead to buy an SSD. But for the vast majority of you out there, if you just want this rig to get it up and going and you want to use it for more than just gaming, you want to actually do store files on there as well, I'm going to suggest sticking with a mechanical hard drive at least for now and getting an SSD as an upgrade path in the future. So for now, I'm throwing in the 1 terabyte Western Digital Caviar Blue. WD drives have always been pretty well for me, so I'm just going to go ahead and suggest this one. Now guys, this is where the key thing is. Now for this price point, a lot of people are going to say, oh, you should go with the NVIDIA, the GTX 1050 Ti. But guys, for now, $189, because of course AMD had to announce a price drop when the new NVIDIA cards were announced. So nowadays you can actually pick up an RX 480, the 4GB version, for around $190 or so. Now I've noticed a lot of GTX 1050 Ti's are in and around that price point. They're maybe about $30 less, but here is where I would fork over the extra $30 and go with the RX 480, especially especially at the 1080p gaming, this card is going to do absolutely great. It has enough video memory for at least, 1080p and even up to 1440p if, let's say, you decide to upgrade your monitor in the future. And AMD driver support has been at least pretty good in terms of longevity wise. So this card has been getting better as it's been aging on, and I'll leave a link to the Hardware Connects video to show that, so you guys can check it out for your very selves and see the results that they got. Now, case-wise, cases are very, very subjective things. What I might like, you guys might like something completely different, but I'm going to go with what I know, and I'm going to go with what I used last time, which is the Corsair Carbide Spec M2 Micro ATX mid-tower. And honestly, for the price point that it was at, 50 bucks, I thought it had good cable management in there. I thought it was well built. I thought it was respectable. It could use an exhaust fan, which you can pick up for yourself for around like 9 bucks or so, or if you have one laying around. I would just do that just to keep that kind of neutral airflow going through the case, so you have one in, one out, and just kind of goes through the case and moves there nicely. In all honesty, pick anything that you want in and around the $50 price point to keep it at that $550. And certainly, last but not least, this is also one that could be kind of subjective, but for me, I trust Corsair power supplies, and this one's an 80 plus bronze certified. It's the one I used in my last video. It's the CXM 450 watt power supply. The reason why I also like it is because it is indeed semi-modular, so you're only going to be using the cables that you actually need for it. For me, I like my cases to be nice and neat and tidy, and I think this is a great way of going about it with either a semi-modular or a modular PSU. I haven't really bought a non-modular one in a while. One I used in a previous video was just one I had laying around, so I just used it. But for around, $55 or so, I think this is a great bargain. And according to PCPartPicker, this PC is only going to use around tops 300 watts at complete load. So 450 watts, you got a lot of headroom to play around with. So there you have it, folks. That is for the month of December of 2016, my $550 build. I'm really excited to see what's around the corner because Kaby Lake is coming around in 2017, and so is Zen from AMD. So we're going to see if that shakes up the market a little bit, because there are some grumblings of an overclockable i3 that's coming out. I really want to get my hands on that and actually try it out for myself. But anyway, I would like you guys to debate me on any of these choices that I made for any of these components to keep it in that in and around $550 range. Now, guys, just remember, this does not include any monitor. It does not include a keyboard. It doesn't include a mouse or any kind of operating system. All of those you'll have to kind of find on your own or have, but this is just the hardware itself, and these are some of my suggestions. But I'd like to know what you guys think about it. If you have any alternate picks or even alternate builds for $550, be sure to debate me in the comment section below and let me know what you guys think about that. And also leave me some feedback about the video itself. If you guys like these kind of theoretical builds, if I should do more in the future, I'd love to know your feedback for it. So be sure to also let me know that in the comment section below. And if you enjoyed the video, be sure to press that thumbs up button just to let me know that you liked it. And if you didn't, be sure to press that thumbs down and let me know why you didn't like it in the comment section below. Either way though, thank you very much for watching today's video, guys, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. See you later.